Welcome to lesson 4 of module 1. Today we are talking about the window of tolerance. In the last session, we practiced tools for regulation, learning how to shift your state through breath and grounding. And today we'll explore and understand your range, the space where your body and mind feel safe, connected, and stable. This is called your window of tolerance or window of tolerance to stress. And it's one of the most powerful concepts for nervous system awareness. So your window of tolerance is the range of where you can experience life and even stressors while still playing present and grounded. So it's essentially the space where you can navigate challenges as they come with greater ease. So inside of your window, you feel calm, you feel open and able to respond thoughtfully rather than react automatically. And it doesn't mean that you're never stressed or emotional. It just means that you can handle challenges without leaving yourself. And when you're within this window, your body is regulated and your breath is steady and your mind feels clear. Now we're returning back to the little image that I showed you in the previous lecture, the little wave of our day when we're going between stress and calm. So sometimes some external stressor comes and our cortisol spikes and we experience stress, but we might still be able to handle it. And then afterwards, we can downregulate and we feel calm and present again. And then something else happens and we go up in stress. And this is how we fluctuate throughout the entire day. And this is our window of tolerance. And as you can see here in this picture, you have your sympathetic nervous system here at the very top, and then your parasympathetic nervous system at the bottom. And this wave is going in between those two. So this space is where we want to exist in our daily life. This is where we can handle all of these challenges with ease. So when you're inside of your window, you're in regulation. But when you move outside of it, you are in survival mode. So there are two directions you can go when you leave that window. So when you're above the window, you go into something that's called hyperarousal. And this is your fight or flight response. And then when you go below the window, you go into something that's called hypoarousal. And this is your freeze or shutdown response. Neither is wrong or bad. They are necessary for our function as humans. Both are your body's ways of trying to protect you. So let's look at what either one of these states feel like. So when you move above your window of tolerance, you go into hyperarousal, which is fight or flight. So your sympathetic nervous system takes over, and this is your body's gas pedal, activating energy to help you face a perceived threat. So you might feel anxious or a little bit restless or irritable. You might feel tense or reactive. You might have difficulty sleeping. You might experience that you're having racing thoughts or a pounding heartbeat, or you're stuck in rumination. So in this state, your body is saying, I need to act, I need to move, or I need to escape. And it's not dangerous. It's just a signal that your system is overactivated. And as you can see here, based on this line, the wave is, instead of being within the window, it's slightly above. You might come down into the window, but then come back up again. So when you drop below your window, the opposite happens. Your system slows down to conserve energy, and this is the freeze or collapse response. You might feel like you are numb or dissociated. You might feel tired or unmotivated. You might feel like you're shut down emotionally, or like you're watching life from the outside. And here your body is saying, it's too much. I can't handle all of this right now. Again, and this is not failure. It's a signal and it's a protection strategy. So your body is always, always, always trying to keep you safe, even if its method don't always feel good. So essentially, you want to stay within your window of tolerance. And if you spend too much time in either hypo or hyper arousal, it can lead to chronic stress. Most commonly, it's the hyper arousal that leads to chronic stress, but both of them do. And I want to highlight one more time because it's so important to remember. You are not broken. Neither of these states are wrong or bad. It's your nervous system doing exactly what it is supposed to be doing to protect you. So the goal isn't to avoid these states entirely, but to notice when you're in them and to gently guide yourself back towards balance, towards your window of tolerance again. And this is how we expand our awareness, our compassion, and our resilience to stress. So why is the window of tolerance so important, you might ask? Well, it's because you can't heal what you don't understand. When you learn how to identify your own window of tolerance where you feel safe, you can regulate faster and more effectively. So if you want to feel better, you need to become a better feeler. So it's about tuning into these sensations that tells you when you are slipping in and out of your window. So understanding this creates freedom, and you can meet your body where it is instead of judging or forcing it. The beautiful thing is that your window of tolerance is not fixed. It can grow. With consistent regulation practices like breath work, conscious resting, movement, and supportive routines, your body learns that it's safe in more situations. So think of your window as a container. At first, it might feel like a tight space, it might feel small. Maybe work stress or family relationships or conflicts are pushing you in and out of your container quickly. But as you regulate more regularly, that container expands. So more things fit inside without overwhelming you. And that's what true resilience is. It's capacity. So you're not getting rid of stress. Stress will always exist, and stress is not the enemy. But you're increasing your ability to stay balanced within stress and to navigate challenges with more ease. So how do we come back when we notice that we have left our window? Well, if you're above your window, you're in hyperarousal, you're in fight or flight. And in that case, I want you to slow your breath down to down regulate. You can also ground through the body with the 5 things you see type of grounding technique. You can stretch, you can take a warm bath, you can really press your feet into the floor. Always focus on your breath. You can call a friend that makes you feel safe and co-regulate that way. You can activate your vagus nerve through humming, through gentle massage, or through cold water, either on your neck or on the inside of your palms and wrists. You should prioritize rest and spending time in nature because nature is also healing and it helps with down regulation. However, if you are below your window, you're in hypoarousal and you're in a state of freeze or shutdown. And in this scenario, I would like for you to move your body. I want you to shake, whether you're shaking your hands or maybe dance or take a walk or maybe go for a run. You can take deeper and slightly faster breaths. You can reconnect through social contact or uplifting music or sunlight in your eyes, especially in the morning. You can try to eat more nourishing foods and stimulate the senses as you eat. All of these tools signal safety to your body to bring you gently back into balance. And we are going to dive deeper into each and every single of these tools. And I'm going to teach you so many different techniques and tools to add to your toolbox. But these are just the first ones that I mentioned right now. Now take a moment to reflect. Where do you notice yourself most often? Are you above? Are you below? Or are you within your window of tolerance? There's no right or wrong answer here, and try to be curious, not judgmental. This awareness helps you understand your tendencies and what tools you might need more of in your daily life. So you might even need to journal about this one more time. It's very important to write down because that reinforces this brain connection, this neural pathway. So what takes me out of my window and what helps me come back? Perhaps some of these tools, or perhaps you're using something else, like a pet, patting your pet, or taking a warm bath. There's so many different ways to downregulate, but reflect on what feels helpful for you. Let's recap what we covered today. Again, your window of tolerance is not fixed, it can grow, but it is your zone of safety and connection. And when you leave it, you move into hyperarousal, fight or flight, and or hypoarousal, which is freeze or shutdown. Both are survival responses of your nervous system, and they are necessary for our survival. Awareness helps you regulate faster, and expanding your window builds resilience over time. It doesn't happen overnight, it's consistency that is the key here. And you can always find your way back through breath, through movement, and through mindful awareness, such as grounding techniques that I went over earlier. And again, it's time for some homework. So I want you to reflect on your typical state within, below, or above your window. And identify which tools help you most in each state. Again, write this down. And then I'm going to invite you to listen to day 1 of my 14-day nervous system reset. It's going to revolve around rethinking stress and how much mindset is a part of how we perceive stress. This is day 1 out of 14. So as we continue on with this course, you will get the opportunity to listen to more of those sessions. And remember, your window of tolerance is not a fixed trait. It grows with every moment of awareness. So every slow breath and every gentle return to yourself. The more often you can come back into balance, the easier it becomes. You're not just calming your nervous system, you're retraining it to live with greater peace, presence, and power. And this concludes Module 1, the science of your nervous system. And in the next module, we are going to explore your breath in more depth, how to assess it, how to strengthen it, and how to use it as a tool for daily energy and clarity and calm. Thank you so much for finishing Module 1 with me.